You may have developed a personal interest in space and a longing for something extraordinary and uncharted. It is so frequent that when talking about space, trillions of tons and billions of light years make us all feel like little bugs. When compared to a star's lifetime, space is enormous. Our lives of 60 or 100 years are insignificant. We won't be around to see the sun's demise, the creation of black holes, or intergalactic travel. But there are certain things we'll live to see. Astronomical events in the cosmos will undoubtedly be vivid, dramatic, and enormous, and will undoubtedly affect our lives. We'll discuss the dates in a moment, so bring out your calendar and be ready to note them. Let's start by talking about some wonderful minor details. On Monday, March 25, 2024, there will be a complete lunar eclipse in 1 year. The moon will cover 95.57% of itself in the shadow created by the Earth, and it will be a stunning sight to see, particularly for those who didn't see the lunar eclipse in November of last year and instead only saw pictures and videos of it. Let's establish right away that we will do the same for all of the events in the film and that we won't repeat this sentence 10 times. The precise times and locations for observations will be on links in the description. Additionally, in 2024, on May 26, Comet Tempel 1 will travel perilously close to Jupiter. This information is obviously mostly for telescope owners, but other people will undoubtedly see a lot of pictures and movies if Jupiter continues to suction the comet with its powerful gravity as it has in the past. A 300-meter asteroid struck Jupiter in July 2009, and the gas giant swallowed comet Shoemakin-Levy 9 in 1994, thus it has previously happened. Let's hope there aren't any dinosaurs on Jupiter by the time these collisions occur, since the energy they release is equivalent to the explosion of 1 million atomic bombs. Let's step it up a notch and discuss the longest solar eclipse in a century. On August 2, 2027, the moon will partially block the sun in some locations of the Earth for up to 6 minutes and 23 seconds. Be careful to mark July 2186 in your calendar because it is the last time it will occur. Also included are those who cannot wait until April 20, 2023. On that day, a fleeting partial eclipse will take place. A timetable of the lesser ones will also be included in the description. Now let's talk about the show's first overweight visitor. Eclipses frequently occur, but on April 13, 2029, something unprecedented in observational history will occur. Apophis, an asteroid, will pass by Earth at a distance of just 30,000 kilometers. Remember that the TPP Space Telescope, launched in 2018, travels in Earth orbit at a height of 100 to 300,000 kilometers to get an idea of how little this is. 100 communication satellites, weather satellites, and a whole constellation of brand new Chinese Tianlian spacecraft are all in a fixed orbit 35,000 kilometers above the Earth, in order to talk to their space station. In general, 35,000 kilometers is a fairly close and often utilized orbit, literally the backyard even by the modest standards of humans. In the meanwhile, asteroid Apophis will approach Earth much more closely. The first group of scientists that performed a simulation of the course of the Kit-Pike asteroid in 2004 waited for a few seconds after its discovery, since the first calculations indicated that the likelihood of an Apophis collision with the Earth was practically 100%. For a moment, let's consider an asteroid with a 325-meter diameter. This is of course less than the 10 kilometers required by an asteroid to annihilate dinosaurs, but according to NASA's calculations, it is still close enough to cause an explosion with 1,480 megatons of TNT equivalent. The Krakatoa volcano erupted in 1883 with a 200 megaton explosion, while the thermonuclear Tsar bomb exploded on October 30, 1961, at 57 megatons. In general, the Earth won't appear tiny to us if the estimates are off. Now, it is projected that there will be no collision between Apophis and Earth in 2029, so that you may take part in a historic occasion without having unneeded anxiety. Since the beginning of time on Blatina, asteroids have not yet come closer to our planet. Apophis will not appear to be the brightest star on April 13, 2029, since it is traveling across the sky so swiftly. And your unaided eye can see it. The asteroid will come again in 2036. And this time there will be a mathematically significant chance that it will collide with the Earth. There's also a chart showing potential locations for its fall, and Kazakhstani and Siberian citizens will experience unique feelings from witnessing this historical occurrence. Well, everyone will be overwhelmed with emotions in 2033. Traditional headlines predicting the end of the world also appeared at the same period. This was the case, for instance, in 1833, when rumors about the ship's bottom were created by slaves, Indians, and others of different skin tones. Boston's nearly scientific residents have left us a more precise description. They estimated that the shooting stars represented around 50% of the snowflakes in an average strength storm. Simply said, there are a ton of them. What caused the impending doomsday and such a large number of shooting stars? A meteor shower known as the Leonids. You are aware that there are many little pebbles and other objects in space. When these stones burn out in the thick layers of the atmosphere, which are periodically traversed by the Earth's orbit, they appear to us to be shooting stars. Astronomers can foresee these collections of space pebbles because they often follow delicate orbits around the Sun. There are really a few dozen meteor showers each year, and they virtually all have their own names. And the majority of the time they are connected to comets that once passed by a region and left behind a lot of debris. However, the Earth will pass through the same Leonids that caused havoc in 1833 on November 33rd. Typically, it takes place once every 33 years. Collision with this meteor stream may be found in the writings of ancient astronomers dating back to 900 AD. The last time, in the early 21st century, the Leonids released 3,000 shooting stars per hour at their peak. Even the ISS captured this on camera, and people all across the world were amazed. We will at least see the same show in 2033, perhaps even more epic. After all, this meteor storm's parent comet, Templia-Tutlia, was being tracked simultaneously in numerous locations. Astronomers also predict that the Earth will see the effects of the comet's passage in 1899 and 2033. This is relatively fresh by cosmic standards, so there are still a lot of stones behind the comet. And compared to 2001, the rain is predicted to be more stronger. According to some calculations, there will be approximately 100,000 shooting stars every hour, and the enjoyment can last for a number of years. We'll get to the genuine mastodon when you remember to put the Leonids on your calendar. The most well-known comet in history is without a doubt Comet Gallia. Sima Tian, a Chinese historian, wrote a detailed account of it around 240 BC. Wars and a terrible drought were present in Byzantium at the time of its arrival in the year 530. Its appearance in 1680 marked the first time in history that comets were recognized as such, and it taught astronomers how to determine their orbits and forecast future returns. Edmund Halley, for whom the comet was named, accomplished this. Later in 1986, the Vega 1 and Vega 2 interplanetary stations captured the comet's nucleus on camera and provided scientists with information on its structure for the first time ever. By the way, Comet Gallia made its final appearance in the sky above the Earth this year. The most renowned comet in history will make a return in the middle of 2061, and astronomers on the globe will sell their souls to witness it. Like Saturn, it ought to be sufficiently brilliant to be seen in the sky. Watching Comet Gallia is a once-in-a-lifetime experience since it is the only comet with a tail and a significant amount of history. However, there is a great likelihood that a comet that is far brighter will be seen to Earth much before then. Older viewers may recall Comet Hale-Bopp from 1997, which was completely unexpected. 1995 saw the discovery of it. Therefore, you and I have a good enough probability of seeing brilliant enough comets. Well, to wrap up, let's consider the biggest event that may ever occur in our life. This is a supernova explosion, an occasion of really astronomical dimensions. They are observed by astronomers with enviable regularity, but regrettably virtually usually with large telescopes. However, a supernova is a breathtaking sight when observed with the unaided eye. The star ASIN 1054 in the constellation Taurus was seen in the year 1054. Additionally, the flare was so dazzling that it was seen by onlookers for 653 days at night and 23 days during the day. The Crab Nebula, one of the most well-known objects among amateur astronomers, is now located at the location of the supernova explosion. We do, however, have a strong candidate in the form of the upcoming supernova. It is Betelgeuse, one of the night sky's brightest stars. It makes sense why it is hundreds of times larger than the Sun. Betelgeuse is doomed, according to astronomers. Currently, it is pulsating twice as fast, getting smaller and bigger while mysteriously losing brightness and displaying all the signs of being about to burst. Theoretically, it might occur at any time. Unfortunately, any instant is actually between 0 and 100,000 years old by cosmic standards. You are aware that the Betelgeuse's explosion is not a guarantee to occur during our lifetimes. The star in the sky, if it occurs, will be brighter than the moon and will be clearly visible during the day. Additionally, there are plenty of additional potential supernova possibilities. It's true that some of them can only be seen via a telescope. Let's wrap off the discussion with the Parade of Planets, which is arguably the most well-known event. The entire globe marveled at Venus and Jupiter's dance at the beginning of the 23rd. On July 24, we observed 5 planets arranged in a straight line in the early sky. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn were the planets present at the time. If you missed any of them, don't feel terrible. The exact identical event will take place on September 8 in 2040. The 5 planets will be much closer together than on the 22nd, and the Moon will be the only one that is not full. So on March 15, 2080, individuals who wish to live a very long period can rejoice. 6 planets will be visible with the unaided eye in the early sky on this day. The 5 planets already mentioned will be joined by Uranus, and Jupiter and Saturn are predicted to form a spectacular conjunction. In other words, they'll be quite near to one another. In actuality, this list contains every significant event that must occur during our lifetime. But keep in mind that the universe is only examined under extremely specific conditions, and anything can happen at any time, such as a supernova explosion, a new comet appearing, or the unexpected discovery of a meteorite. In addition, there are several astronomical events that occur on a yearly basis. We have included all the links in the description if you are interested in knowing more about them. For the time being, we would appreciate your feedback on the celestial occurrences that you most vividly recall.